Psychology is probably the most important thing you'll ever take in school if you decide to take it. If you have a good enough understanding of psychology, you can manipulate anyone's brain into doing anything you want them to do, hopefully within ethical regards. So today, I'm going to walk you guys through 4 very useful psychology tricks to use. So let me ask you this. Have you ever been interested in someone, and you've invested countless time, effort, and money into this person? And doesn't it seem like the more you try to win them over, the more you fall for them and you're just stuck in some endless cycle? Well, that's probably because you kind of are. This is called the Benjamin Franklin effect. None other but Benjamin Franklin found that if someone does a favor for you, they're more likely to like you. This is actually an example of cognitive bias that causes an individual to like another more after doing a favor for them, especially if they've already have a negative view of that person, interestingly enough. But why does this work exactly? Usually, this is best explained using the theory of cognitive dissonance. This theory suggests that holding 2 contradictory beliefs causes people mental discomfort. In turn, people will naturally try to bypass this cognitive dissonance from performing a physical action for someone that they mentally do not like. This means that their brain must find a way to justify the actions to avoid a cognitive dissonance. Therefore, their brain rationalizes the action by altering the way it views you. Simply put, if someone with neutral or negative feelings helps you, they justify their actions with the belief that they actually like you. By far, the easiest way to make an impression on someone is to just simply use their name. When people hear their own names, they feel like they're being personally addressed and engaged with. In 2006, a study from the Institute of the Study of Child Development found that hearing one's own name is actually kind of a form of self-representation. Your prefrontal cortex is responsible for processes that make you who you are. In this study, researchers looked at that specific area of the brain to see if they responded to their names the same exact way we respond to other people's names. So, the participants of the study were actually exposed to 4 different names, one of them being their own, in no particular order. They heard every single name repeated the same exact number of times. They were also told to minimize their physical reactions whenever they heard their own name. The researchers used brain scanners to analyze the brain's activity when they heard their own name compared to when they heard others' names. And they turned out to find that they have very unique patterns of brain activity when you hear your own name. They exhibit very similar brain activity as performing other self-representational activities. This means hearing your own name causes your brain to react as if you're actually taking part in the behaviors and thoughts that actually serve as part of your core personality. They even tested this on people in a vegetable state. People that are unable to move, speak, identify others, and in some cases even open their eyes, had the same exact response. And I know what I said can be very confusing, but pretty much, if you use their name, they're going to have a very strong marker in their brain about who you are. It'll make a positive impact on your guys' relationship, and it'll actually make you significantly more memorable than other people who don't use their name on a regular basis. Just don't overdo it and say their name every sentence, because that's weird. Do you ever have those mornings where you wake up and you feel like you almost didn't sleep at all? You just slept so terribly that all you want to do is turn off your alarm and go back to bed? Well, what if I told you that you could trick your brain into thinking you got a good night's sleep? This is actually an example of a placebo effect. The placebo effect is just defined as a phenomenon in which some people experience a benefit after the administration of inactive substance or like a fake treatment. So for example, if you come into the doctor's office with a headache, your doctor prescribes you sugar pills. And the headache stops, but not because the pills did something, but your brain has actually tricked itself into thinking that the pills worked, therefore eliminating the headache. A study from Colorado College actually proved that you can do the same exact thing with your quality of sleep. The participants were told about a new technique that would measure their quality of sleep the night before. Of course, this technique didn't actually exist. They were connected to a machine that showed brainwave frequency and were also shown graphs and formulas. Some were informed that their deep sleep had been above average the night before. They were told that they were more mentally alert. Another group of participants were told that their REM sleep from the night before was below average. Both groups got a short lecture on the importance of sleep quality and its importance to cognitive functions. They ended up finding the students that were told that they got a good night's sleep performed significantly better on real tests that assess their ability to listen and process new information. So if you want your date to end up liking you, take them to a place that'll get their adrenaline pumping. There's actually a very strong link between arousal and attraction. This link was discovered in a 1973 study. This experiment had men between the ages of 18 and 35 walk across a bridge to an attractive woman. One of these groups had to cross a high, very dangerous bridge to get across to her. The other had to cross a very low, very safe bridge. After each man walked across the bridge, the woman handed them a questionnaire. She also told them that if they wanted more information about the questionnaire, to call her, and gave them the number. The conclusion of the study showed that men on the shaky bridge included more sexual content and imagery in their questionnaire responses than the safe bridge. Also, only 2 out of 16 participants on the low bridge called the woman, while half of the 18 participants on the higher bridge took the opportunity to call her. Another 2003 study showed that non-romantic partners on roller coaster rides showed that they found each other a lot more attractive than those who did not go on roller coaster rides together. And yet again in 2011, it proved that it doesn't even have to be fear-based. They were handed a survey after 15 minutes of physical exercise, and they found that they were a lot more attracted to the other sex after they got their adrenaline pumping just from exercising. So, if you get a date, you might want to take her to a scary movie, on a roller coaster, or take her rock climbing. Of course, real love is more than just a feeling of arousal, but it's always a good start.